All right, so this is for Taurus, sun, moon, and ascendant. All right, and in our native tradition, the Taurus is a beaver. And the beaver is the builder, is the creator, resourceful. They usually have plan A and plan B, okay? They do not like to lose. They're money orientated. They're strong. They're focused. They can be stubborn. Oh, they can be. But sometimes that's exactly what we need, is that, persistence and that kind of energy to get something done, right? Taurus are usually fairly creative individuals, and I think they're super solid and loyal when they're in relationships. They work hard at a relationship. You might go through a difficult time with them, but they're the kind that will learn from a situation and do their best to do better. They do. I mean, they're stubborn, but they know when they mess up, and if you give them time to think it through, they're gonna tell you, yeah, maybe I should have done better in this way, right? That beaver energy is probably one of the most resourceful creatures in all of the land, and they'll make beautiful things out of it and end up making a very substantial living, which is wonderful. All right, they like small families. They're very good parents. All right, let's see what we got for Taurus, sun, moon, and ascendant for April 2026. Independence is very important, but it won't help with addictions and compulsions and obsessions. So too independent, it could be almost an addiction to be independent. So it's important for Taurus to take some time to ask for help when they need it. And if they're dealing with someone who is somehow compulsive or obsessive in some way, it's probably a really good idea that they let that situation end once and for all. If you've been trying to help them or trying to, like Taurus, you're gonna probably attract people who have addictive personality in some way. So I'm saying to the Taurus that if that's happened to you and you've wondered about walking away from the situation, I'm going to say this is a time. This is a good time to do that. And if you yourself are the one who has some kind of addiction, you're not going to overcome without sorting it out with somebody else and trying to help, right? You really need to let things end like that. If you have been trying to quit smoking, good time to do it, and it is definitely supported by universe. You just gotta put your hands up and say, that's it, I'm done with this. If you've been dealing with irritation or sleeplessness or worrying, that type of thing, this is when you got to look at stuff and say, do I love this? Am I passionately involved in this? Do I want to keep this in my life? And if your answer is no, then it's time to let it go. And so the whole point is addiction doesn't just show up with drugs and alcohol, but it's also our behaviors. Sometimes we can be addicted to drama people. Other times we're addicted to things that we committed to, but we don't feel it anymore, and we stay with it. That's an addiction too, right? So this is a time for you to look at those things that have been holding you back from pulling in new energy, new opportunities. And if that's you, you just have to step into that power. Don't forget, you're stubborn. You can be stubborn too about letting something go and any more part of it, or having any more of it controlling you or consuming you. So I believe you have the ability, if there's any type of addiction energy, any kind of compulsion or obsession, this is the time for you to take a hold of it and let it go. One of the things I am being told to tell Taurus, that you might need someone to talk to. Maybe this irritation or this aggravation or this holding on to people who have addictive personality, maybe this is your codependence and you need to speak to someone who is, a wisdom keeper who can share more with you options and ways to maybe put that down, or to deal with this better. Maybe you do have a codependent behavior and you need to look at it better. I think the biggest problem is usually with Taurus is they're just so loving. When they fall in love, they are forever committed. Even if that person drives them crazy, even if that person is mean to them or unfair to them, they will stick it out with them until the dying days. And that's not always the best thing to do. And so I'm going to say that April's going to be a month where you really got to review that, and you have to figure it out. You have to say no to that, because you may not be addicted to drugs and alcohol, Taurus, but maybe you're just addicted to your word. And that is the thing. Sometimes we have to stand up for ourselves and say no. So the Two of Cups is here, and the Ten of Swords. This is telling me that this is inner conflict and inability to communicate properly with someone. All right, this is serious. And and if you're a female, I can see it really irritating you, feeling really crotchety. And if you're older, of course, there could be some added energy like menopause. All right. And or some maybe a little bit of mental health issues that are creating even more problems for you here. So that's the theme anyways of April. But I will say that I do see you being able to save money, to put money aside, and this might be part of an issue that you're going to be dealing with. Maybe somebody spending money that you don't want them to spend it, and you haven't said what you need to say in order for them to do what you want them to do, right? So as far as your health, I do see it fairly robust, although I am seeing, if you were sick and you're feeling better now, I think that you're tired. You'll be struggling with feeling tired. That tells me maybe you need some sun, vitamin D, B12, something like that. So I see this very robust group of Taurus who are strong and healthy and got it all going on. But I do see a small select few of Taurus people who had been dealing with health problems in the past, and now they are struggling with tiredness. So I'm being told to tell you to take a look at that. Could be also that maybe if you did get COVID, you kind of got some sort of long COVID thing going on. That looks like it's possible with you. So I want to say, I think you need a regimen of herbs and vitamins that can help bring back some of this. One of the things, it's so funny because this morning I was just thinking about the 3 Gs. It's a tincture called Gouda Cola, Ginkgo biloba, and ginseng. I think that is a well worth taking tincture if you've been feeling any kind of sluggish energy, okay? For those of you that are in relationships and love affairs, I see, Taurus, I think you go up and down in your love, and, there's consistent struggles. I see a lot of Tauruses in relationships where there's consistent struggles. For some of you, I think April's going to bring about some ideas about maybe getting out on your own and doing new things. Maybe you're not going to leave your partner so much as just getting out on your own more. And I think that's going to be a really good thing for Taurus, having some more fun and maybe getting out with your friends more, not just your lover and your partner, but friends, so that you get a little bit of moments away from your partner. I think that most of you will stay in relationships, but if any of you are single, I see you getting back into relationship fairly quickly. All right, so there could be reasons for that. As much as I find you a strong sign, as I said about Beaver, you folks really like to be in love affairs and in family situations and in strong, stable homes. And I think that's part of the thing for Taurus. Okay?